All right, welcome to day 10, finishing up our Word Chapter 2. I think it's page 136, WD136 dash, is it dash 2? But first, let's review a few things. I'm firing up Word. Go ahead and bring up Word. I'm going to ask you to do something here, see if you can remember. Bring up my Word that I hide on the taskbar. There it is.
Is it a new document?
Yeah, just go ahead and do new document. They are giving you some text to go with it, but it's in a PDF, so we're going to have to learn how to copy and paste a PDF text and then modify it. But first of all, I want to double click on the tab so I see my menu. I want to insert a text box. Where do I insert a text box? Insert. There we go. Right there. Remember, there is word art. We did word art on one. That is basically a text box with fancy characters. A regular text box I can click and insert. They have some built-in text boxes, quite a few. What they I forget what they call these little quick parts, I think they call them. Or you can just go down here and draw your text box. That's the way I usually do it. And I draw my text box, and I can put text inside my text box. Now, what's so great about text boxes?
You can move them around,
Yeah.
independent of the whole page.
Independent of everything else, I can rotate them. But when I go to edit it, it shows it horizontally. I can even change the text direction of my text. But I wanted to concentrate on one thing here. We want to be musical here at Emmaus, keep up with musical variety. So we want to learn about wrapping. We learn about wrapping in Microsoft Word. Right, the default wrapping I have here is it's in front of text. But it also shows a default setting of move with text. So if I type something above here, another line of text, and hit enter, I was expecting it to move that box down. There's the anchor showing there. Now let's see if I add another line of text here. See how it makes that text box move down? Because the anchor for it is right there. That's an actual anchor inside the text. Sometimes, though, you want a text box to be completely independent of everything else on the page. So I can set the wrapping, even though it's in front of text. I can also check fixed position on page. Now it's anchored to that part of the page. And if I come over here and add more text, it doesn't push my text box around. To me, that's the more, I would hope that that would be the default, but that's not the default. So, move with text to anchor it next to a particular set of text, or if you want it completely independent of the text, you can turn fixed position on page. Now, there's lots of cool things you can do with text boxes. If I have lots of text, I'm going to copy that, Control-C. And I'll paste lots of text, Control-V a ton of times, and it's thinking. I can have it wrap through that text in a special way. Boy, Word is really slow. Let me close down my other Word documents. It's probably not going to do anything for me. I did a bunch of pastes, and it's seems to be stuck. Come on, Word. There we go. See how this in front of text, but if I click on this and do a different kind of wrapping, and I do a through, let's try a tight. See how I can get the text to wrap around that box. Something that used to be only the very fancy word processing software would do. But you can play around with the text wrapping. Usually people will do just square, or they have it behind or in front. So knowing how to do your wrapping and fixed position on page, very useful. So text boxes can make your little extra little eye candy to your document. Highlight a specific quote. Magazines do this all the time. They'll have a quote in the article and they'll place it within the text with some wrapping like this. Or between the paragraphs, they'll do multiple paragraphs. That's a little more advanced things than actually setting columns. You're welcome to play with that. It's all on your layout page. We don't do a whole lot in fundamentals. We don't teach you much about the layout page, but there's very powerful options in there when you're doing fancy papers. Well, let's get busy on the WD136 and see what they have for us there. Let's jump to that project. Gonna go to the browser instructions. Let's see. First of all, I'll check the instructions. Yes, sir.
Did we ever turn it into WD2?
I think that's due tonight. Let's see what the
What is
assignment schedule says. WD2 should be due. Yeah, if you want to turn that in tonight. I think we finished it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did the bibliography or the works cited was pretty much the last thing. We came back and changed some spelling on some things, and that was it.
Okay, I guess I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the WD2 research paper. The last thing we did, we went back and changed some spelling, edited our sources, and that was it for that one. In the book they talk about printing and things. You're welcome to test printing. I always print to a PDF and then save that to my Google Docs. So, looking at the assignment description, make sure, sometimes I do provide you with a little help here. Let's see, WD136-2. Oh, look at that. I gave you some source text for that. Oh, I guess at one point the class, some of them wanted to do a different project. They were doing a little research paper on viruses, but we'll look at page 136, and I think they give us some data files. I may even have some data files available for you. Let's go check that. I'll bring up the book first. And jump to that page. I think it's describing point of sale terminals. Let's jump to WD136. POS terminals. POS means point of sale. Let me enlarge this just a bit for you. They do give us some source text in the Your Turn 2-2. So let's find that. I've provided the data files for you up at the top in a little folder there. Student data files. In the Word section, Chapter 2. Your Turn 2-2. And that's a Word document. And Your Turn 2-2. This gives us the source text that we just simply need to go through and provide references around it. Build it into a research paper, because this isn't about copying the text, it's more about learning what Word can do for us. Oh no! Office wants to do something crazy. Yes, sir?
How did you get that page with all the files?
Under the data files folder on the eLearn, towards the top.
Oh, like on the top.
What chapter is it in?
This is Chapter 2. It's Your
Oh, I
Turn
see.
2-2.
Student data files?
Yep.
And then Word,
Yep.
chapter.
Chapter 2, and then Your Turn 2-2.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
See, this is what, for some reason, it wants to start up Microsoft 2013. It's not, I don't think it's going to be happy with 2016 running at the same time. Let's see if it'll let me kill this. Oh, it's not letting me kill that. I should have saved it. I didn't realize it was going to try to open it with 2013. So a little lesson for you. If you do install it, don't keep previous versions or you run into this horrible problem constantly. When it switches to the older version, it just goes through some crazy reconfiguring and then makes you wait for a long time. Here, finally it's doing something. Let's try this again. Oh, thank you very much, Microsoft. I think the next thing I'm going to do is uninstall 2013 just because of this horrible problem. I think doing a screencast does slow down my PC. I haven't noticed it going so slow until I start the screencast. So bring that up, copy, paste the text from there, and then follow the instructions. Let's just, while this is doing this thing here, let's go to the instructions here. And what I want you to do see, it won't run 2013. What I want you to do is organize the notes in the file, rewording a few things if necessary, and format it as a research paper. So you've got the notes. Oh, they finally came up. Here's the notes. You've got some sources listed. And you've got a conclusion. So your notes basically you form into meaningful paragraphs. Looking at this first part, it looks like you could probably convert this, copy paste this into a whole, just to make that into a paragraph instead of bulleted list.
Is that what it wants us to do?
Well, it gives you a lot of freedom. It just says reword as necessary. So you could just do a Control-A, select all, copy, go to your Word document that you started the research paper in, delete everything that I started in this blank, and paste in that text. And before I do anything else, I'm going to do a save as to my last name, WD136-2. So I'm going to save it to Manning, WD136-2. And I'll add POS, point of sale, research paper. So put your last name there, WD136-2. So here's my notes copied and pasted. This first paragraph seems like a good paragraph, but it may not be in the right order. I'm thinking I want to introduce point of sale terminal and then explain what a terminal is. But it's kind of flexible. Let's see how easy it is to turn this into a paragraph. Select all the way through it. I can just turn off bulleting and just backspace from previous lines. And I've got a decent paragraph explaining terminals. But I'm not sure this is the best place for it. Since the paper is more about point of sale terminals, I'm thinking I might want to introduce this first and then explain what a special purpose terminal is. But first I'll just convert these to paragraphs and then decide my order. So I can right click, turn off bullets, And then instead of hitting multiple backspaces, I can select from there to there and then just backspace. Then I don't have to hold down the backspace key multiple times. I just select from the beginning of this paragraph, or that paragraph that was a bullet point, select all the way to there and backspace. Watch for red squigglies. Since that's the name of a person, I don't have to worry about that one. Here is my point of sale source that I'll probably add a placeholder at the end of this paragraph. Same thing here. Turn off bullets. Select away the new line. I could turn on formatting marks just to see that there's a new line there. And there is the source for ATM. So that would go, even though they list the source first, it'll be a placeholder at the end of the paragraph. And then an explanation about self-service kiosks. Turn that into non-bulleted. Put it into one paragraph. Letting Word do the wrapping in case I change my font size. Oops. Now it's probably not as exciting as it could be. You're welcome to add text to make it more exciting, but the main thing here is just to learn the mechanics of managing, rearranging a document. Now I don't mind the conclusion. It's not. I think I might leave the conclusion as bullet points because it's my paper. I get to decide it. Unless the instructor says your conclusion. You might just say, in conclusion. In conclusion, or in conclusion, here's what I've learned about terminals. Well, we've got the text in a decent order. We're going to be removing this source and putting that into a placeholder. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put the placeholder. I forget. Does it go before or after the period?
After the period.
Is it? All right. So right there, I'm just going to do it the quick way. I'm going to do references. Insert citation, add new source. Because I know when I do add new source, it automatically creates a placeholder for me. And another reason I'm doing this is I've been messing with Office 365, which by the way is free for you. And all you have to do is search for Office 365 student. All it asks for is a .edu email address, and it will send you a link to free Office 365. There is a Mac version as well, which I've been playing with. And it doesn't have the add a placeholder. It's a little bit more simplified ribbon, which I kind of like. It just does add new source, automatically creates a placeholder for you. So there's the information. I'll just put that right behind it. And let's see. It looks like it was a book written by. Okay. And I just simply put in the author information. I'm going to type it exactly as written, and you'll see, I think it will rearrange it for me. Remember, that doesn't do spelling check in the create source. There's no spell checker there. City of New York. Publisher higher limits. Specific page is 110 to 115. I'll be putting that in my placeholder. Let's see how this. Let's see. There's no other. Looks like I've got that. Let's see what the placeholder looks like. There's my placeholder. I can come back to that now, and edit citation, and show my pages 110 to 115. And I'm going to suppress year and title. And I could even suppress pages if I want. I don't remember if I need to suppress pages. I could suppress author, but I haven't named the author yet, so I think I'll leave it that way. Now the main thing here is that you know how to make placeholders and edit them. Okay, so now that I have that information, I can delete this from my notes from the text. Now let's put a placeholder after this paragraph. Same thing. Insert citation under references. Add new source again. And this time, a website. So I choose that first. And then give the author. Oh, the title of the website is ATM specifics. I guess the name of the web page is ATMs, as far as I can tell. It doesn't tell me exactly. A website, web page. I could leave web page empty, since it really doesn't tell me. I'm just guessing that, that's probably just my notes, but I'll just leave ATMs. 2014 is the year of the website, and month September. I'll abbreviate it like they did in the book. 10th. No URL given. I like seeing the URL. Since they did get a viewed date, and that might be useful, I'm going to show all bibliography fields and go down to viewed access date. Even though it's not required necessarily, since the information is in my notes, I'm going to put it there. And 16. So I opened up the all bibliography fields just because I did have that information in my notes of when I viewed it. So that would go with year accessed. Then I click OK. And there's my placeholder. Now that I have that information there and it's contained in my source, I can delete those notes. Oh, I see I have an extra space there. So one more placeholder here, and that is an article, and I'll put that at the end of this paragraph. In this case, it's an article in a periodical. Yes. Tech Buzz. Tabbing will take me through those entries as well.
By the way, we also have 2 authors.
Oh, that's right. Now I'm going to skip the little edit button, since I know I can just separate them by semicolon. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah. And I believe it will format them properly. Let's see what happens here. View it on. I have the year and month. I don't have the day of publication, and I don't have pages. But I will add the viewed on, again, by showing the additional fields. Does it have a view date? There, year access. 2014, October 4th. The day of my daughter's birthday. Not the year. Now when I click OK, I'm going to click OK and then come back to it by clicking there and edit source. See how it rearranges the authors for me? Even though I wrote them in first name, middle name, last name, it put in last name, comma, first name, middle name. I could have always edited there, but since it's easy enough to just type and just separate them by semicolon, I'll leave the work up to that. Now I can delete those notes. And the rest is formatting my paragraphs to be proper MLA style. Now you see what's going on here. All my paragraphs are single spaced, not the right indentation. First I'm going to do is do a Control A, and I'm going to left align them all and remove any indentation. Oh, it's not letting me. I was thinking it would. Maybe.
Oh, maybe it's trying to.
Do I have to remove the indentation one paragraph at a time? Yes. I could select the multiple paragraphs. Let me do that. I can drag down through here and just remove the indent for those paragraphs. I'll leave the bulleted indented. Since everything needs to be double spaced, I'm going to do a Control A and change my spacing right here to 2. And while I have everything selected, I will change my font to Times New Roman to match MLA, and I can type TIMES and it finds Times New Roman. And font size of 12. I do want that first line to be indented though. Let me zoom out a little bit so I can see a few more paragraphs. Since I don't want to mess with these paragraphs at the top, I'm going to select down through from here, dragging through that paragraph, and then scrolling down to the last paragraph right there, and shift selecting. Now I can adjust my first line indent just by dragging my ruler marker or going to my paragraph indents and spacing and change my first line indent to be 1/2 inch. So I can either do it from the dialog or by just dragging here to 1/2 inch, that top little marker. Now all my paragraphs have first line indented of the paragraphs that I have selected. To me, this is the more natural way of modifying an existing document. In the book, remember how they had done it? Before typing everything, they had modified the normal document. But I think it's a little more natural. Copy, paste, and then modify. Now this here, I'm going to change from these notes to the proper MLA style. cs101, terminal, research paper. And put your name. I forget the MLA style rules. Is it the name and then the teacher?
Name, teacher's name,
And they,
class, and date.
Forgot what day it was. 28, right?
Or actually 29.
Oh, that's right. Looking good so far. Oh, we better do a header. Remember our headings, our headers for MLA. Let's go to, is it design or layout? Let's try layout. I
Or you
think,
can just double click on the top, right?
yeah, or double click on the top. I'll just double click here, and in design I can go to header here and choose the header right align. Do I have a right aligned header with numbers? There's a simple right aligned header with a colored number, or I can just do a simple one, a blank. I'll just do edit header and insert a page number here. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. Top of page, page number. This is the one I was looking for. And remember, with MLA, your name goes in front of the page number and a space. If you're getting fancy and printing on double-sided, there's a check right there. You can have it different odd and even pages, and you can have, depending on, I forget what MLA wants. I think with left side pages, if you're doing double-sided, I would be putting the page number on the left, but you check with your instructor on that. If you do this, you can have a header for, a different header for even and odd pages. We don't do that in this class, but that's something, if you're ever doing double-sided, a thick paper, that's pretty easy to do. Just think, if you do that, just remember, you'll have a separate header for odd pages than from even pages. I do that when I do little booklets for camps. I have, I print it out in booklet format, and I have my numbering out on the outside, make it look like a decent book. Just double click back in the normal text. Only thing left to do, besides one little extra thing I'm going to have you do, let's put the works cited on the separate page. So I'm going to do an insert break, and then insert the works cited. So to go down to that last page that came after the page break, and references, bibliography. Since we're doing a works cited, I'm happy with you just to do the regular built-in works cited and let Microsoft do the work. Isn't that great how it just pops that in for you? Remember, if you do this though, always check with your instructor if they exactly agree with what Microsoft thinks is the MLA style for works cited. Now, this is a little bit boring to look at, so I want you to bring in a image and throw it somewhere in the page and let the text wrap around it. Just let me give a little more professional look. We have a little extra room on this last page. I would think a picture on the first page might make it more interesting. So I'm going to do insert. Let's see if I can just find an online picture first. If I don't find anything decent, I can go to download a picture. But let's see if there's anything online that I can just do, like search for terminal. And I'm looking for point of sale. Not terribly exciting pictures there. There's one with a airline terminal. I'm looking for one that maybe someone's standing by. There's a bus terminal. Suppose that's not the best word to search for. How about POS? These are POSs, but they don't have the terminal on them.
POS terminal.
How about POS terminal? Or even an ATM, that probably would get you a good one. Those are great initials, by the way. Should give you some fantastic results. Taking forever to find. Maybe that wasn't the best search term. Let's see if it'll let me kill that. Let's try ATM. No.
There's your recording. It'll take a while because we're still a little bit up. But
I'm going to bring out my browser and where's my browser? And I'm going to bring over here and look for images. Just that search is taking forever. I'm going to do images at google.com and I'm going to search for point of sale. That's coming up a lot quicker. POS terminal. Hey, it looks like the cafeteria system there, something like that. Let's see if it'll let me, let's see if I can cancel this. And I want to see if I can drag and drop into my document. Oh, it doesn't do the drag and drop. I was hoping it would. Now my browser's hung up. Trying to drag and drop. There we go. Let me try. I guess I'll have to open the link. I'll save that. I was hoping I could drag and drop it. Let me copy image, and then let's see if it'll let me paste it. There we go. I'm going to shrink that a little bit and change the wrapping to be, we'll do square. And bring it up a page. I did a Control X, coming up a little bit to a previous page here, and let's paste it on that first page. And put it wherever you like. You don't have to apply any cool imaging effects. If you do play with images, you can do nice things like cropping them. See how it has extra white space around it? I can crop any images. Just drag the little cropping handles. Adds a nice little touch to a fairly boring paper. And I think that is it for that project. Let's go ahead and save that, and that's ready to upload. So we've gone through placeholders, text boxes, works cited. Now there's no excuse for you not to have excellent works cited at the end of every paper. And remember, if you use Word, you can have it store your sources as you read through your source material, and as you're reading, just add sources, and you can use that for any paper. Just have that, keep that document on your jump drive. That will contain all your sources, easily brought in when you add new sources. Remember, you can manage your sources and bring them in from your master list, bring them into your current list, and then use them whenever you need to. All right, have a wonderful day.
when do we have to complete this?
This is actually not due till, I think, Monday, so if you want to refine it or you have anything confused by anything.
Other one. The one that we started earlier.
The WD2 we finished. We went, once we did the works cited, we did some spelling corrections. That was pretty much it. Enjoy Winterfest. Try not to load you up with homework and ruin your Winterfesting festivities.